It was a bright Friday morning. The company office was full of noise, but not because of work. Today was a special day, a celebration for the company's success. Balloons hung from the ceiling, laughter filled the halls. Fancy food and music were everywhere. Everyone was dressed in nice clothes. Zara, one of the senior employees, wore a shiny red dress. She walked around with pride, greeting her favorite coworkers and ignoring the rest. To her, only important people mattered. But while others were enjoying the party, one man was working. His name was Ali. Ali wore a simple blue uniform. He carried a mop in one hand and a dustpan in the other. He quietly cleaned the floor near the food table. No one noticed him. No one thanked him. He was invisible in the crowd of shining people, until Zara saw him. She stopped, tilted her head, and laughed loudly. Her voice was sharp, and it caught everyone's attention. "Look at that. Even the janitor wants to be part of the party," she said loudly. People nearby turned their heads and giggled. A few even pointed at Ali. Ali didn't say a word. He just looked up at her, then looked away. His hands kept working. His heart, however, felt something deep. Not sadness, not anger, just quiet strength. Zara walked away, laughing with her friends. She thought she had won. She always did. Behind the crowd, near the staircase, a young receptionist named Sarah watched. Everything. She didn't laugh. She felt sorry. She had often noticed Ali reading a book during his break time. A thick old book about business and leadership. Strange, she had once whispered to herself. Why would a janitor read about business? The party continued. People clapped when the CEO gave a speech. They danced when the music played. They shouted when cake was cut. Ali cleaned the mess. He picked up the paper plates and plastic cups. He mopped the spilled drinks. His job was not fun, but he did it with care. Then something strange happened. As Ali cleaned the stage area, his eyes stopped at a big photo on the wall. It was a black and white picture of the company's founder, Mr. Rahim Khan, the man who had started this company 40 years ago. Ali looked at the photo for a long time. Nobody noticed him. Nobody saw the way. His eyes filled with emotion. Nobody heard him whisper softly, "I remember you, Baba." Yes, Ali was not just a janitor. He was someone's son, someone important, but he kept that secret hidden like a closed book. Later that evening, after most employees had gone home, the CA assistant called him outside for an urgent phone call. The office was quiet now. Only a few lights were on. Ali stood near the CEO's chair. He slowly walked into the empty office. He didn't sit. He just stood there, looking at the chair, the same chair Zara often admired, the same chair that people called the throne of the company. Ali reached out and touched the armrest. His fingers moved slowly over the polished wood. "Soon," he whispered, "soon, I will sit here, but not for pride. For purpose." His voice was low, but it carried a strange power. A power that didn't come from money, but from pain, patience, and truth. Meanwhile, Sarah, the kind receptionist, came in to collect her bag. She saw Ali in the CEO's office. She stopped in surprise. What was a janitor doing in there? But before she could ask, Ali stepped out and gave her a small smile. "Late night?" he asked. "Yes," she replied nervously. "I forgot my bag." Ali nodded and walked away. Sarah looked at the chair, then at Ali's back as he walked down the hall. She didn't say anything, but a small voice inside her whispered, "Something is different about this man." The next morning, Zara came in early. She liked being the first to arrive, just to show off her work ethic. She passed Ali near the elevator. Again, she laughed. "Back to the broom, I see," she said with a smirk. Ali looked at her and simply said, "Yes, Miss Sarah." That's all. No reply. No emotion. Sarah rolled her eyes and walked off. "These people don't even know their place," she muttered. But soon she would learn. In the most unexpected way. Later that day, a black car stopped outside the office. A woman in a black suit stepped out. She carried a sealed envelope in her hand. Her walk was sharp. Her face was serious. She entered the office and went straight to the front desk. "I'm looking for Mr. Ali," she said. Sarah, the receptionist, was surprised. "You mean the janitor?" The woman nodded. "Yes, that's the one." Sarah quickly called Ali. When he came forward, the woman handed him the envelope. "It's time," she said. "You need to open this." Zara, who was nearby, watched the whole thing. Her eyes narrowed. Her curiosity turned into confusion. Who was this woman? Why did she come in a black car? And what was in that envelope? Ali looked at the seal. It had the same logo as the company. He took a deep breath, then slowly opened it. Inside was a letter that would change everything. Not just for him, but for everyone who had ever laughed at him. The entire office was still whispering about the black-suited woman who gave a sealed envelope to the janitor. Most people ignored it, but Zara couldn't forget it. She kept thinking, why would a lawyer-looking woman come to see Ali? What was in that envelope? Ali returned to his small janitor's room after receiving the envelope. It was a tiny space near the back door, filled with cleaning tools and a wooden chair. But inside, there was also something unexpected. Books, dozens of them. Books about business, leadership, company law, and history. Titles like How to Build an Empire, Secrets of a Good Leader. Business is not just money, it's vision. Al sat down and read the letter again, slowly, carefully. His eyes stayed calm, but his hands were slightly shaken. The letter wasn't just a message. It was a truth bomb, and soon it would explode for everyone to see. That afternoon, Sarah walked past the janitor's room. She paused when she saw the open door. Ali was sitting inside, reading double quotes. "Sir, can I ask you something?" she said softly. Ali looked up and smiled. "Of course. Come in." Sarah hesitated, then asked, "Why do you read so many business books? I've seen you studying during your break time. You know more than even some of our managers." Ali looked at the open book in his hand, then at her. "Sometimes," he said gently, "a man must understand the system before he steps into it." Sarah didn't fully understand, but his words stayed in her mind. Meanwhile, Zara was not sitting quietly. She was watching, listening. She noticed how Ali went to the CEO's office at night again. He didn't hide it anymore. This time she followed him quietly. Without a sound, Ali stood in front of the founder's photo again. He placed the envelope on the table and looked up. "Your blood runs in me," he whispered. Zara gasped silently behind the door. "Blood? Whose blood?" she wondered. Then the door creaked slightly. Ali turned his head. He didn't see Zara, but he knew someone had been there. He picked up the envelope and walked away. That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She searched online for the company's founder, Mr. Rahim Khan. She found old articles, interviews, photos. One article mentioned something strange. Rahim Khan had one son, but no one knew where he went after a family issue 25 years ago. The son's name was never public. Zara's heart skipped a beat. Could it be? Could Ali be that son? The next day, the office was full of tension. Ali came in wearing a slightly better shirt, not the usual janitor uniform. He still cleaned, but something about him was different, stronger, more confident. People noticed. Some whispered. Some rolled their eyes. Others stayed quiet. Zara tried to talk to Sarah about it, but Sarah only said, "He's not what you think he is." Later that evening, the CEO returned from his short trip. As he entered his office, he found Ali sitting inside waiting. The CEO paused. "Ali, what's this about?" Ali stood up and handed him the envelope. "It's time," he said. The CEO read the letter. His face slowly changed from confusion to shock to respect. He looked at Ali and nodded. "I knew this day would come," he said quietly. Outside the office, Zara watched from a distance. She couldn't hear the words, but she could see everything. Ali, the janitor, stood tall. The CEO shook his hand, and in that moment, everything Zara believed about power, respect, and class started to fall apart. Ali walked out of the office, passing Zara on the way. This time, he didn't look down. He looked her straight in the eyes. Zara froze. She didn't laugh. She couldn't because deep inside, she finally felt it. This man is not just a janitor. It was Monday morning. Rain fell lightly outside the office windows. Employees came in one by one, umbrellas dripping, shoes wet. But the energy in the building felt different. Something was about to happen. Zara came in earlier than usual. Her eyes were tired. She hadn't slept well. She kept remembering what she saw last week. Ali handing a letter to the CEO. The CEO shaking Ali's hand. The calm, powerful look on the janitor's face. It made no sense. "Maybe it's just a misunderstanding," she whispered to herself, but her heart didn't believe it. At 10:13 a.m., the silence of the office broke. A long, black car stopped in front of the company building. The driver stepped out and opened the back door. Out came a tall woman, dressed in full black. Her coat, her briefcase, her heels, everything was sharp, formal, and serious. She looked like someone who never smiled. She entered the building and walked straight to the reception. Everyone turned their heads. Some stood up. Zara peeked from behind her desk. "Excuse me," the woman said. "I'm from Khan and Partners law firm. I have a legal announcement. I need to speak with Mr. Ali." "The receptionist?" Confused, asked Ali from janitorial staff. The woman didn't even blink. "Yes, Mr. Ali Khan. Please call him. Now." The whispers started. Ali Khan. Legal firm. What was going on? Zara felt something cold rise in her chest. Her doubts were growing. Fear mixed with curiosity. She watched as Sarah, the receptionist, picked up the phone and called the janitor's room. "Sir, there's someone here to meet you." "A lawyer," Ali responded calmly. "I'll be there in 2 minutes." When Ali entered the lobby, he was not wearing his janitor shirt. He had on a plain white dress shirt and dark trousers. Clean, neat, still simple, but with quiet dignity. The lawyer greeted him formally. "Mr. Ali Khan, we are here to proceed with the reading of Mr. Rahim Khan's private will." Gasps filled the air. Zara's mouth opened slightly. "Private will." Ali nodded. "Let's go to the conference room," he said. The lawyer, Ali, the CEO, and a few senior managers entered the large glass meeting room. Curtains were closed for privacy. A few curious employees tried to listen from outside, but they couldn't hear anything. Zara stood near the window. Frozen. Inside the room, the lawyer opened a thick folder. She began reading. "I, Rahim Khan, founder of Contact Industries, declare this will to be my final statement. I leave 51% ownership of the company to my only biological son Ali Khan." The CEO slowly looked at Ali. Some managers looked confused, others shocked. My son was raised away from the business to understand life without power. He started from zero, that was my wish. But now, I want him to take his rightful place as my heir, as the new CEO. Tears formed in the CEO's eyes. I knew, he said softly. He always reminded me of Ray. Outside the room, the silence felt heavy. The door opened. The lawyer came out first, then Ali, then the CEO. Everyone stood still. The CEO placed his hand on Ali's shoulder. Everyone, he announced. This is your new chief executive officer, Mr. Ali Khan. Some people clapped slowly, awkwardly. Others looked down, ashamed on Zara. She didn't move. Her face was blank. Her hand slightly shook. The same man she laughed at now owned the chair she dreamed of sitting near. Ali looked around the office. His eyes didn't show revenge, just quiet observation. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't angry, he was steady, strong, like a man who had waited patiently for this moment his whole life. The office was quiet, too quiet. Ever since Ali Khan was announced as the new CEO, the energy in the building had changed completely. People walked slower, spoke softer, laughed less. Some were shocked, some were confused, but many were scared because no one expected the janitor to become the boss. Zara didn't come to work that day. She told HR she had a headache, but the truth was, she was hiding. She couldn't face him, not yet. She kept playing the memory in her mind how she laughed at him in front of everyone now. He owned the company. At the same time, Ali was in his new office. He didn't change much in the room. Same desk, same chair, same photos on the wall, but he added one thing, a framed photo of his father, Rahim Khan. Ali placed it right next to the company's mission statement. Now we'll do things your way, he whispered. Later, that day a special team arrived from the law firm. They had more papers, more files, and one box. The CEO's office was filled with senior staff. Ali opened the box slowly. Inside were personal letters from Rahim Khan. One by one, he read them. In one letter his father wrote, I know. People will judge you because you started as a janitor. Let them. You don't need to prove anything to them. Just prove your values. Show them that respect is not worn. It is earned. Ali smiled faintly, then looked at the faces around him. Some had tears in their eyes. Others couldn't meet his gaze. He looked at the company's head of HR. I want to make some changes, Ali said. The HR head nodded nervously. I want to review every complaint made by junior staff. Every ignored email, every disrespectful message sent from higher management to lower staff. And yes, he paused, especially cases where someone was insulted for their job. The room went silent. Zara's name wasn't spoken, but almost everyone thought of her. In her apartment, Zara was pacing back and forth. What if he fires me? She said to herself. Her hands were shaking. She checked her phone for messages. Nothing. No email. No call. Just silence. And silence was loud now. Back in the office, Ali walked to the ground floor. He stopped near the cleaning staff. They looked shocked to see the new CEO standing with them. Ali smiled. I haven't forgotten where I came from, he said. Then he did something no one expected. He picked up a mop. Cleaned one corner, then handed it back. Not because I have to, he said. Because I want to remind myself I started here. And I'll never disrespect this place. The staff clapped softly. Some had tears in their eyes. No CEO had ever done this before. That evening, a message was sent to all employees. Subject, mandatory. Meeting tomorrow time, 10 a.m. sharp. Location, main hall. Topic, new company culture. Announcement. Everyone stared at their screens. And one question filled their minds. What is Ali Khan going to say? The main hall was packed. Employees filled every seat. Some stood at the back, others peeked in from the hallway. The clock hit 10 o'clock at M. Silence. No music, no slideshow, no CEO standing on stage. People began whispering. Where is he? Why? Isn't he here yet? Is this some kind of test? Then, at 10:07 a.m., the side door opened. Quietly. Ali Khan walked in, but he didn't go to the stage. He walked through the rows of people, the same way he used to push his cleaning cart. He looked at every face. Some turned away, some nodded awkwardly, and a few looked down, ashamed. Ali stepped onto the stage with no mic, no papers, just a glass of water. He took a breath and spoke. You all know me as the janitor, the quiet man in the hallway, the man with the mop. People watched, frozen, but before I became the janitor, I was just a boy. A boy raised by a single mother after being separated from his father, Rahim Khan. Gasps filled the hall. Even those who knew already weren't ready to hear it from his mouth. He wanted me to learn life from the bottom, to understand pain, struggle, hard work. So I started here, not as a boss, but as a worker. He paused, looked around. Some of you respected me even when I was sweeping the floor. Others laughed. Now the silence was deep. Some faces turned red. Zara, sitting in the back, froze in her seat. I don't hold anger, he continued, but I will not allow this company to continue on the same path. From now on, there will be zero tolerance for disrespect. People exchanged looks, he went on. No employee will be judged by their uniform, their accent, or their seat. Whether you're serving tea or writing code, you deserve respect. A soft clap began, then more. Then the whole hall was clapping. Except a few people who felt exposed. Ali raised his hand, and the room went quiet again. We will be reviewing all past behavior. Promotions will be based on merit, not friendship. And I promise those who deserve it will rise. His eyes met Zara's for just 1 second. She looked away quickly. After the speech, the HR team began announcing new policies. Open door complaints, system anonymous feedback box, monthly promotion, review meetings, respect-based workplace training. Ali stepped down from the stage. People moved aside respectfully. In the hallway, one junior staff member whispered to another, "He's not just cleaning the company from outside anymore. He's cleaning it from the inside." That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She kept hearing his words. His voice was calm, but his message had shaken her world. Was this still just the janitor she once mocked? Or had he become something far greater? Zara sat at her desk, staring at the screen. The office was different now. People smiled more. Seniors were polite. Even the cleaning staff were treated with respect. But Zara, she felt a storm inside her. Regret, guilt, fear. The man she had laughed at now had the power to fire her, but he hadn't. Not yet. And that made it worse. She opened her inbox. No warning. No message from HR. Nothing. Just a company-wide email from the CEO. "Let your actions from today speak louder than your mistakes of yesterday." She read it again and again. Was this a warning for her? Or a second chance? At lunch, she stood outside Ali's office, hand trembling. She knocked. "Come in," came his calm voice. She stepped inside. The room was quiet. Ali looked up from a file. "Yes, Ms. Zara," she hesitated. I wanted to talk about the way I treated you before." He didn't interrupt. She continued. "I know I crossed the line. I judged you. I mocked you. And I'm sorry." Ali listened without blinking. Then he gently placed his pen down. "I accept your apology," he said softly. Zara let out a quiet breath, but he added, "However, accepting your apology doesn't mean forgetting your actions." Her face changed. Slightly he leaned forward. "Real change," he said, "comes when apology turns into action." She nodded, lips tight. "I understand," she said, but inside, something else was growing. Later that evening, Zara sat with her friend Rima. "He forgave you?" Rima asked. "Yes," Zara replied, "but not completely." Rima raised an eyebrow. "So what now?" Zara took a slow sip of coffee. A strange smile appeared on her lips. "I'll earn his trust," she whispered. "Get closer. And then, maybe I'll take back what's mine." Rima looked shocked. "Zara, are you serious?" Zara leaned back in her chair. "I didn't climb this far to be left behind by a janitor." Back at the office, Ali stood by the window, watching the city lights. He remembered Zara's eyes, her voice, her words, but something in her tone didn't feel real. He turned to his assistant. "Keep an eye on Ms. Zara," he said quietly. Battle was no longer between rich and poor. It was between ego and honor. The office looked normal, but behind those clean desks, friendly smiles, and polite emails, something else was happening. Zara was planning. And her target? Ali Khan. She started small, offering help, volunteering for new projects, praising Ali in meetings. People noticed her change. "She's so humble now," one said. "She's really improving," said another. But not everyone believed it, especially Ali. One afternoon, Zara walked into his office. "Sir," she said sweetly, "I've made a new presentation for our next international project. May I show it to you?" Ali nodded. She plugged in her USB. Clicked the file. Slides appeared. Clean, modern, impressive. But hidden inside that file was something else. That night, after Ali left the office, Zara returned. She entered quietly using her staff card. Checked his computer. Smiled. The trap was working. The next day, Ali opened his email. Strange links, suspicious attachments. His system slowed. His files acted weird. He called. "They scanned the system, sir," said the technician. "Someone tried to install a hidden tracking software from a presentation file." Ali leaned back in his chair, calm, silent. "Who was the last person to use this USB port?" The IT guy checked. Zara. Ali's eyes didn't change. He simply said, "Thank you. Please leave the report with me." That evening, Zara walked in again, holding coffee. "I brought you your favorite." She smiled. Ali accepted it. "Thank you," he said, then paused. "You've been very active lately." She smiled. "Just trying to grow, sir." He nodded slowly, then added, "I respect that." Her smile widened, but inside, Ali was done pretending. He picked up the phone as soon as she left. "Call an emergency board meeting," he told his assistant. "It's time to reveal the truth." The next morning, the boardroom was full. Zara was called in. She entered. Confused. Ali stood at the head of the table, calm as ever. He turned on the screen and clicked. "Zara Malik, security breach." Report. Everyone stared. Zara froze. The screen showed her USB login time, the hidden file code, the email tracking logs, her late-night visit. Ali turned to her. "In this company," he said, "we forgive mistakes, but we do not ignore betrayal." Zara's face lost color. She opened her mouth to explain, But words didn't come. Ali didn't raise his voice, he didn't insult her, he just stood in silence and let her guilt speak louder than anything else. Security entered. She was escorted out. Some employees watched quietly, others whispered. She tried to trap him. He already knew. The janitor was always 10 steps ahead. Zara was gone, fired, exposed, forgotten by the very people who once admired her. But Ali, he didn't celebrate, he didn't smile, because for him, this journey was never about revenge. It was about respect. The board respected him now. The staff admired him. But Ali Khan never let success reach his head. He walked the same halls, greeted every guard, helped the tea boy carry extra cups when no one else did, and once a week he still visited the janitor's room, sat there for 5 minutes, alone, silent to remember where he started. One afternoon, a young intern named Raza walked into his office nervously. "Sir," he said, "may I ask you something?" Ali nodded. "Of course." Raza hesitated, then asked, "You had everything now, power, money. Why didn't you ever take revenge?" Ali looked out the window for a moment, then replied, "Because if I used my power to hurt others, then I'd become just like them." He smiled gently. "And I never cleaned this building with my hands, just to dirty my heart later." That evening, Ali stood alone in the boardroom. The chair at the head of the table, the one where his father once sat, stood empty. He slowly walked to it, touched the armrest, then finally sat down the final chair, not as a janitor, not as a backup plan, but as the man his father believed in. From the corner of the room, his assistant watched, silently taking a photo. That picture later hung in the company's lobby, a frame under it. Read, Ali Khan, the man who cleaned more than floors. And so, the story ended. Not with revenge, not with anger, but with growth. Real powerful growth.